Hello, everyone. Welcome to Set Stories Podcast, where filmmakers talk about crazy set stories. We get high sometimes. My name is Hootie. You all know that by now. And I have Charles and Jonathan with me because I make them come to every single episode. And Charles is, of course, smoking again from his Gandalf pipe, which looks amazing. What are you smoking, dude?
Smoke on peace
What is
pipe.
it? A what?
I have to smoke from peace pipe. The blessed. You
Oh,
smoke
to
from peace
bless
pipe
it.
for peace. It's sativa, and I think it's blueberry.
Ooh, yummy.
I think
That sounds good.
yeah.
Today's episode, we have another guest on today's episode. He's a friend of mine. I worked with him before. He was amazing on set. I would love to work with him again. We have Stephen Ho with us, everybody.
Hey.
Hello.
Woo!
Hey,
How
good
are
to be here.
you?
Doing all right.
Thank you so
Doing
much
good.
for coming. Yeah, thank you so much. So tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do in this crazy industry, and where you want to end up, unless it is what you want to do, and why you're making films.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a DP. I've been working professionally as a DP for about 6 years now. Previous to that, I was a professional stagehand. I used to work for UC Davis and UC Berkeley, and they're big theaters. And then it got to the point where I realized that I couldn't really advance if I was going to stay as a stagehand, because once you're a stagehand, it's just like that's all you're going to do. Like maybe I would become like a master electrician or a master carpenter, but like it wasn't really something that I was interested in doing. So I moved down here to go to film school. Actually, I went to Chapman, and I did their master's in cinematography, and just working as a DP since. Occasionally doing like stuff like being in the G&E department and ACing and DITing, and once in a while coloring, but generally just trying to stay focused on being a DP.
Amazing. Awesome. Yeah. Do you have any stories for us, Stephen?
I mean, like to circle back on a previous episode, the one that Harris Smith told about
I love Harris.
the guy who got injured, and so I was partially there for that. What happened was it happened really early in the morning, and I was at the school, actually preparing to go to another set. I was getting ready for the carpool, and I think I was getting like a breakfast or something from the vending machine, which is right next to the stage where it happened. And I remember just walking towards the vending machine, and I saw like the guy who got injured holding his head and walking outside to the loading dock. I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I looked on the ground, and there's like a trail of blood. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? And I like the first AD walked out, and I was like, what the fuck happened? And he's like, oh, so-and-so got injured, and he's got to go to the hospital. Like, fuck me, man. That's crazy. But yeah, that's like, just confirming that, yeah, the story
it did happen.
You're told, it actually happened.
Oh gosh. See, that's why it's important how to lower a light down, or else gravity will do its work and it'll smack you in the side of your face.
I mean, like I've heard various versions of like how it happened. I have no idea like which one is like sort of the truth, or if it's like the truth is in the middle sort of thing. But
persons.
What ended up happening was like got hit on the head, got injured, got knee stitches, and it was unfortunate that happened. But it's a story that like you gotta sort of pay attention on sets, especially big stages where you're working with big lights, and there's like huge like overhead rigging systems, and you just gotta pay attention.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, sets are dangerous like all the time. That's why there's workers' comp.
They can get up there. However, I worked on, you're right, they do get dangerous, but on stages as well as like industrial buildings, like when we do sometimes we have to do rigging in like industrial places like what is it, like abandoned staples or whatever.
Yeah.
And just so everybody knows out there, scissor lifts, they can withstand a lot of weight, a lot of movement at full height. We were full height at scissor lifts, and people would freak out. This is just Charles and a very experienced East Coast grip. We both were on scissor lifts for about 8 hours a day. at top height, doing what you say, rigging big lights. Like what is it? The not the 9 light phase,
Yeah.
like a big LED. I think they're called like sun rays or something. And we're rigging those, and we're moving around a lot. I tell you what, up there I was scared. I was a bit timid, but the other grip was like, "No, man, these are fine." He was moving around, sharing stories of like, when he was up there. But if you aren't careful though, like at that time, like he was experienced, whatever, I was still taking my time, and almost you could get, oh god, up there, it's like a death trap if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, I've actually got a story about being in a genie lift when I was working as a stagehand. Like it's just a one-man lift, and it's got outriggers in it. And then we were doing a light focus for a show, and if I remember correctly, we were at working height, which is about 25 feet from the stage. And I remember I was in between two electric line sets, and one of them was like pushing against I guess the either it was pushing against me or it was pushing against the lift. And I remember at one point I was trying to get to a light and I started pushing it, and I remember feeling this very distinct feeling of like something like sort of like leaning over. Oh shit! So I stopped.
Lord.
I was like,
Oh
fuck
my
me.
gosh.
I was like, okay, not touching that.
So
Oh my gosh.
that's just scary. your whole life goes, you're like, I'm really doing this. What's the rate? What is this movie about? No,
It's just one of those things where you're not really thinking, but then you start feeling, your center of gravity shift. You're like, oh fuck, stop.
Oh my god.
My last year at Chapman, I was shooting a film called Tuesday Crowd, and first day we shot with one actress for one scene, and went smoothly. And then she was supposed to come back towards the end of the shoot for another scene that she was in. And what ended up happening was, I think 2 or 3 days before she was supposed to come in, she just canceled. So that meant that we had to do pickups, because we ended up hiring a new actress in the middle of the week and shot that last scene with her. So we had to go back and reshoot that scene.
Oh Lord.
Jeez.
Okay, so the day that we did pickups, what ended up happening was we shot in one location, and we shot that scene, and then we decided, hey, let's leave the gear here, and then we'll come back in the next day, and then we'll pick everything up and then move it to the next location to do the scene that we had to pick up. So I arrive in the morning. It's like all the gear is at the director's house or his apartment. And, I walk in, and the cat's just lying on the ground near the gear. And, I've, met with this cat, several times already. The cat's, chill. So I just been down, pet it. And then all of a sudden the cat starts coming up, and I thought, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to be he's going to want more pets. And he bites me on the wrist.
Whoa!
Hard.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
And the cat's locked on. It's not letting go.
Ouch.
And I'm just going oh fuck. And I'm just going ow, ow, ow. And then
oh my god.
I'm standing up at this point, and the cat's just holding on right here. And the director sees it. He's like, oh fuck. He runs over, grabs the cat off, and throws him in the bedroom, closes it. And
wow.
And I'm just looking at my hand, and it's just bleeding like hell. I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
So director and I go to the bathroom and start cleaning the wound, and it's bleeding pretty profusely, and it's not really stopping. And director's kind of freaking out. I'm kind of calm about it, just because I'm just it's not gonna help if I freak out. And I distinctly remember my hand going cold and start shaking, and I just sort of just calmly said, oh, I'm going to shock.
Oh my god, dude.
And at that point he's okay, holding a bandage to it and putting pressure on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it stops eventually, but then just we got cleaned up with alcohol and like just bandaged it up. And then I continued, packing the gear in my car. And then like went away for a little bit, and then went to the next set and shot like that last scene. And throughout that time when I was shooting that last scene, like that pickup, I'm just like, like my hand's getting sore, and it's like I can't really put my hand in my pocket to grab my keys. So I'm doing this weird thing where I'm using my left hand to go into my right pocket. It's a little awkward. And the shooting went by without a hitch. But the next morning, I wake up, my hand's swollen like a motherfucker. And
oh my God.
I'm just like, okay, this isn't good. So I called my brother and I asked him, like, hey, can you take me to the hospital? It's like, I need to go to the ER because this thing's infected. And so he came down, drove me to the hospital, and like signed in, and took me into the back, just sat me on a bed, just like, wait here, doctor will be here. And I like waiting there 5 minutes, just watching TV because so it's Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm watching the Super Bowl in the ER.
It worked out.
And the doctor comes in, he pauses, he looks at my hand, he like looks at me, and then he turns around and goes, nurse, I need an IV of like amoxicillin, like stat. And he like turns around and he goes like, yeah, I don't really need to look at it, it's infected. And he like just says like, hey, like if you had waited a couple days, then you probably would have lost your hand. So
whoa, dude,
it was that bad.
Oh my goodness gracious. What position were you on that set?
Oh, I was a DP.
Oh, you're
yeah.
Oh my God. And camera operator.
Yeah, well, for the pickups, I was also the camera operator. During principal photography, we had a camera operator. But
have you worked with any interesting directors recently? New directors that you haven't worked with before?
I'm currently working with a director now. So he started out as an actor, but then he kind of wanted to create his own sort of I guess his opportunities for acting, and also he wanted to direct. So I've been working with him quite a bit, just shooting like short little, I think 5-minute, like, short films, usually horror. And then so we've just been continually working together for, I think since November. And like, we've just been sort of talking about like, we should do a horror feature, which is like a no budget affair. So we've been talking about doing that, and then we've also been talking about like doing a web series that supposedly is shooting next week, but who knows with like COVID and shit. But yeah, I mean he's been fairly interesting. He's been fairly receptive to ideas and stuff. He's really open-minded about it. So that's always great to work with a director who like who's open to ideas and doesn't immediately shoot them down.
Touche.
Yeah,
I think those are the best peeps. We were just talking about having good people to work with, and how on the last episode of talked about how it's like Match.com, find your kind of connection, and the producer said the first thing she asked with directors, who's your DP, and if they've been working. And as it's a collaboration kind of thing, and they have to be like almost not like a married couple, but kind of.
No, they are a married couple. They are.
Yeah, like a married couple. And that it's hard to get there, in my opinion, unless you somehow just have chemistry with someone. Otherwise, it's just like, do this, and then that's it. And if they shoot it down, like we get shot down all the time, but they have to have some kind of solution to, or like a reason why it's getting shut down. Otherwise, all the blame gets laid onto you.
Like with the director DP relationship. I mean, yeah, you have to be fairly open to to suggest to each other. It's like, hey, why don't we try this? Because this reason. I usually find that the worst thing to do is saying like I had this cool idea, but then not really having a basis for like why you want to do it other than it looks cool.
Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram page, guys. Set_stories_podcast. We're on Spotify. The link is in the bio. You can check out setstoriespodcast.com for all of that info. And please, if you want to be on the show, we want everybody on the show, no matter what crew position you're on. You can DM us and email us at podcastsetstories@gmail.com. I love you all. We'll see you next week.